Put your shirt down.
I don't know if this is...
Turn it around.
Oh.
Oops. Cars are such a huge part of our lives today. Just think, what would you do if you didn't have your vehicle to drive every day? How would you get to work or take your kids to school? Growing up, my family has owned a car lot with a wide variety of cars and trucks, SUVs, from cheaper ones for people who don't want to spend a lot of money to newer, more expensive ones. During the summer, I would go hang out at the car lot and sit in the cars I liked and listen to music. I remember telling my dad what kind of car I wanted. I told him a different one just about every week. Now some facts about the first cars that were invented. Although Henry Ford didn't invent the first car, he produced an automobile that was affordable for the average American. The Model T took 4 years to develop and was released in 1908. When it was first off the press, it cost $825. Within the first year of production, over 10,000 Model Ts were sold throughout America. The 1908 Model T had 2 forward gears with a 20 horsepower engine and had no driver doors. The 2-speed transmission made it easy to drive, unlike our 5- and 6-speed vehicles now. The Model T also had a detachable cylinder to make repairing a little bit easier. High chassis were also included on the Model T to clear bumpy rural roads in the 1900s. In the production of the Model T, Ford started using the assembly line, where each worker does the same thing over again and the car travels to you. The assembly line makes work go faster with less labor. With the assembly line process on the production of the Model T is how Henry Ford made the car affordable for the average American in the 1900s. 4 years after the Model T was distributed to Americans, the price dropped down to $575, and at this point Ford could claim 48% of sales in the automobile market. When the Model T was first made, Ford's intentions were for farmers to use on rural roads. This is where the high chassis comes into play. But the Model T was so popular and affordable that many more than just farmers had a Model T. In 1916, the Federal Road Aid Act was the first Federal Highway Funding Act. Then in 1921, the Federal Highway Act was passed, and more than $75 million in aid had been given to the states for roads. After these laws were passed, America was becoming more urbanized. The popularity of the Model T went down drastically. More people were trading in for faster, larger, smoother riding, more stylish cars. They didn't need the Model T with the high chassis anymore. Then in 1927, the Model T was withdrawn from production. In the end, there were over 15 million Model Ts sold throughout almost 20 years. When the Model T was last sold, the price had been reduced to $290 for the Coupe edition. In Charles Sorensen's article, Henry Ford Changes the World, he says the assembly line reversed the process of automobile manufacturing. Instead of workers going to the car came to the worker who performed the same task of assembly over and over again. With the introduction and perfection of the process, Ford was able to reduce the assembly time of a Model T from 12.5 hours to less than 6 hours. Hopefully after hearing this, you will understand more about how cars have changed over the years and know more about the ones who started us out.